Hey, everybody. Here we are back for Be More Daily round two. Round two. So, yesterday we talked about getting you to look at your big goals for the future, what you wanted to accomplish someday. And if we could accomplish it someday, then what does that look like 5 years from now? What does that look like 1 year from now? And often, again, remember that what you can accomplish in 5 years, you underestimate. And what you could accomplish by the end of this year, we're overestimating a little bit. And so we want to make sure that we are setting ourselves future goals and 5 year goals that kind of give us butterflies in the belly, right? Like to get us excited, that we're nervous about, that we know we need to find people and find methods to unlock our brain and reach farther than we think we can reach. And that way we get out of our comfort zone. And so, what I wanted to do today is take you that next step farther because, again, most clients, when I'm working with them, they have a vague idea of their goals for their business. They know what their business goals are, they know what they're working to achieve this year. And, a lot of times they don't even know what they're going to do next year until they sit down and do their business planning at the end of the year because they haven't set that 5 year goal. They haven't set that someday goal. And without the 5 year goal or the someday goal, they're just kind of repeating the same year over and over. And so what we want to do now is take that someday, take that 5 year, take that 1 year, and break it down into the action steps that you're going to need in order to make sure that this year is successful. And so let's share some slides here and go from there. All right. So Be More Daily. Planning is bringing the future into the present so that you can do something about it now. Alan Lakein. Alan has written some of the premier books on time management and goals and planning. And so if you haven't read any of the books by Alan, definitely check him out because I think you're going to walk away with some amazing ideas. And if you haven't done this yet, we're running a Facebook group for accountability. Small businesses, entrepreneurs, salespeople that have managers that aren't having these weekly conversations with them. I am making sure that my clients for coaching and my clients for our virtual assistant business have an opportunity to come on every day and call their shot for the day and come back and report their results. Because I know that the more you check in, the more likely you are to succeed. And I realize that if we're going to be doing this for my clients anyway, we can do this for anybody. We can do this for everybody. I'm happy to have you join the calls and help put you on your path to success as you call your shot for the day and have a group of people to come back to and tell us how you did. So register to join bemoredaily.com. You can click the button to say what you want to do today, and then click the button to talk about the results and join us live 9 a.m. Eastern every day to have that conversation live and in person with somebody else. So we want to make sure that we're turning our goals into actions. As I said, we've identified what we accomplish someday. We know what we want to do 5 years from now. We know what we want to do this year. And so now what? We want to make sure that we go through a series of questions that break down our this year goal into simple daily goals. So I want you to ask yourself, based on this year's goal, what must you do each month? Okay, take a moment, write it down. This could be as simple as dividing the year by 12. Some people have some cycles in their business, some periods of their business where volume tends to be a little higher. I think in most businesses, we create that volume, by the way, that we've run certain sales at Christmas time. Imagine that, where we increase our volume due to Black Friday and due to having a holiday based on giving presents. I worked for a company at one point in time that did a huge April sale. The reason the April sale started was because the company needed money to pay their taxes. And it was so successful, they started doing it every year and continued to do this massive April sale. And then all of a sudden they realized, hey, we could do this April sale more times a year. And they started running massive sales more times a year, which spread the business out and kept it from being a roller coaster. And so we could, in that business, plan to hit consistent months if the sales were more spread out. What are you doing in your business that creates a roller coaster? What months in your business do you need to make sure that you are gauging your volume for the year at a higher rate in order to make sure that you're hitting your annual goal? Look at your business from a quarterly and a monthly approach in order to understand how your year's goal will break down in your month in order to be on pace for hitting your year. We'll talk another day about what happens when you're behind and how can you ramp up to that. That's not today's conversation, though. So back to the slides here. Now, if you've looked at your 1-year goal and you know what you need to do each month, the next question to ask yourself, I know this is going to be a shocker, what do you need to do this week? Most months have at least 4 weeks in it. Can we agree? That's right. In fact, I know a guy that once got fired from a calendar company. I know. He was just taking too many days off. Oh, all right. So what are we going to do each week? Let's say our goal for the month is to make sure that we close 10 deals. And we know that it's going to take us 2 appointments to close a deal. That means I need how many appointments in a month? 20. And this, by the way, could be for you or it could be for your team. So if your team's goal is 10 deals and they close 1 every 2, then they're going to need 20 appointments, which means they need how many appointments each week in order to hit their goal? 5, right? The bonus month is the month that has 5 weeks. And then all of a sudden we can get gravy on top and get ahead of our goal for a 5-week month. That's the way I love to run it. Either a week for planning or a week for extra gravy. And that way I know that if I get an additional 5 appointments in that week, then my team's going to obviously get an extra 2 or 3 sales. And we're going to exceed our numbers for the month, which is a great way, by the way, to make sure that you're hitting your annual goal. So if I'm doing that each week, and I know I need at least 5 appointments a week, in order to hit my 20 appointments for the month, in order to hit my 10 sales for the month and get my 120 signed deals for the year, then what do I need to do today? Today, I've got 5 appointments I need this week. What do I need to do today? Now, this is where it gets a little bit trickier because the obvious answer is I need 1 appointment, right? And sure, I need 1 appointment. That's great. But what do I need to do before I can have an appointment? If I don't have a lead setting team working for me and scheduling appointments, I clearly need to be doing some lead generation in order to schedule the appointments. How many appointments does it take scheduled to make sure that they are showing up? And this, by the way, works in conversion for every aspect of your business, whether the deal's been closed and we're trying to take it through to install, we're trying to provide the service after the deal's been closed. What's our conversion rate? How many activities need to be done to ensure conversion? What's our drop-off rate? What numbers do I need to pull through today? What's the main point of my job? The priority that was told to me when I was hired, the priority I've identified as a business leader for the thing that we need to do today to succeed. Because in the end, that's the real question. What do I need to do to win today? Because when we can figure out how to win today, then I can win the week and I can win the month and I can win the year as long as I'm doing the things each day to win that day. That's successive winning. It's a habit that you can form, in fact, and we can share a 77-day habit calendar with you to make sure you're checking off the days. If you want to get that habit calendar, just comment in this post or send me a message on LinkedIn or Facebook, or send me an email, jeff@bemoreeveryday.com, just like it's written in the sign here, bemoreeveryday.com, and I can send you a habit tracker that I think is a great one. I made it, so I definitely think it's a good one. And remember, what are you going to do today to be successful? How many calls do you need to make? How many people do you need to meet with in order to make sure that you have an appointment that you've scheduled and held to keep your 5 appointment track record and close 2 deals this week to be on track to have 10 deals for the month? All right, great. Okay, so understanding all of that, what I want to know next is it possible? This is the check and balance to your yearly goal, by the way. Sometimes, again, what we said in the very beginning is we overestimate what we can accomplish in 1 year and underestimate what we can accomplish in 5. And if we're overestimating this year, we're going to get to this day and be like, oh my golly, Jeff, there's no way I can make that many phone calls. There's no way I meet that many people. There's no way I can build my pipeline enough to get that many appointments to have this week to get that many deals this year. Okay. That's a different conversation, right? Because if you're a business owner, now we need to talk about hiring people, because we win when we develop a team around us to hit our goals. If that's not where you are right now, and you need to achieve the number that you sat in front of you, and it just, these numbers feel like they're impossible, again, probably a time to have a conversation where we can just drill in. Join the call. We'll talk about obstacles for some of the people that are on the call each day. And what I really want you to know is my annual goal possible? Did I set something that was just too big for this year, or too big for now, perhaps? And this is where we get to talk about that ramping. Maybe this month is 6 deals, and then 4 months down the road, we're at 10, and 8 months down the road, we're able to get to 12 deals a month, because by then we have grown and we are able to bring somebody else onto the team to help us hit those numbers in the back half of the year. Perhaps that's the question for you. What I want to know today is, are the activities you've said that you need to do in order to win the day possible for you to do today? Did you give it the right time blocking? And are we ready to go? Look, I mentioned before, if you want a worksheet for working out your goals, if you want a worksheet for doing your daily accountability and checking in, just let me know, because we've got those worksheets available. Most impossible goals can be met simply by breaking them down into bite-sized chunks. You can write them down, believe in them, and go full speed as they become your routine. Mr. Don Lancaster said that back in the day. And again, bemoredaily.com, bemoredaily.com. Come join our accountability group. Get in there with us. Who else needs to be there with you? Who else on your team should be there? Who else do you know that could use a daily check-in? I do, and that's one of the reasons I'm running this group, because I know daily check-ins make a big difference. They make a big difference for me. They make a big difference for my coaching clients. They make a big difference for all the businesses that work with me in virtual assistants. Hope to see you there. Thanks, everybody.